Hey everyone, welcome to Canal Days, and thanks for joining us for today's episode of the Ferry of Smith's Ferry in Holyoke, Massachusetts. I'm your host Gary, here with my co-host, local historian, and founder of Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Como. As your personal tour guide, Robert will lead you through some of the most iconic sites and their legends of historic significance throughout New England's preeminent and pivotal state of Massachusetts. With his expert insights, every monument and memorial story comes to life. Afterwards, don't forget to check out his website, holyokecanaltour.org, to access the full Canal Days video and podcast series. Also, check out his free in-person public tours he offers throughout Western Mass and the 2025 schedule for these special events. Plus, keep an eye out and be one of the first to catch a sneak peek of upcoming special events in 2026. You can also book personalized private tours for groups of all sizes tailored to your interests. To discover all that and much more, remember to log on to holyokecanaltour.org.
Our goal today is to figure out how to get to Smith's Ferry as it was for 150 years. Where would it have been located? Well, I now have for you a way to find it because it was oriented perpendicular to a set houses on Northampton Street in Holyoke. And we'll go to that house and then I'll show you where the Ferry Road was. This is the house itself. Now, whether this is Hervey Smith's original house or not, I don't know. It probably is. If not, then it definitely was Emerson Smith's house, who was his son, who took over the ferry. So the Smiths family ran the ferry for about 60 years plus. And this would have been a tavern area, run the ferry. Across the street would have been where a train depot was, and people would get on the train here on the Connecticut River train. Also, there would have been a trolley depot here, and the Smiths family would have ran both of those. Now, to find where you would have had the road into the Smith's Ferry from the house, just go to the very front of the house and then cross the street. And right in here would have been that old-time road. Now, don't follow the modern road, which is about 150 yards up. That was put in later. The true road would have been right in here. The train tracks are in there. Nowadays, there's the Holyoke Canoe Club in there. But this would have been the way in. In fact, the entrance road, once you get close to the canoe club, once it goes perpendicular to the Connecticut River, that was where the old-time ferry road was. Now, remember this ferry? Was one that carried people across the Connecticut River. So, for instance, students from Mount Holyoke College would go down Ferry Street in South Isle. They come up to the eastern side of the ferry area and go across. This is one of 5 ferries that cross the Connecticut River into Holyoke. And it didn't end until 1912. The station would have been right in that brush there, and so would the trolley station. He would know that people were at the shack for the ferry because there was a bell there, and they would have rung it, and the family member when they came out, cut the toll and be able to help the people across the river at that point. There was a similar station in South Hadley. So this was where the home was for Hervey Smith. The schoolhouse was right here, called the Little Red Schoolhouse, taken over by Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. His brother Milo had the house next house up, right on the right side of Reservation Road. Then his brothers Chester and David had the next 2 colonial homes beyond that. This home is probably original, like I said, but it's hard to tell. It's not an identical twin of the Alleluia house, but very close to being so. So that's how you can find it.